now I'm becoming profitable.
Mm-hmm.
So now, because I was broke, I didn't have anything, no money. So I got to a point where I can pay my bills and feed myself and put gas in my car. So as long as I could do that and then hire somebody else, that's when I knew I was going to hire somebody, because otherwise I was just going to do the things myself.
Right. Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated on providing you the how-tos of marketing and networking strategies. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey everyone, welcome to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gomez. I am super excited about today's episode. My good friend Natasha Way, shout out to her, coming through with this guest. She went out to a co-working space, ran into this lovely young lady, and was like, Michelle, you need to have her on her show. She has such a great story and all this kind of stuff. I was like, sure, why not? And had the chance to sit down with Mila Arzu. And we talked about her entrepreneurial journey, and it's a great story. It's a fascinating story, and what I like about one, she has a great spirit, but what I like about her story is like she's in it. She's like we're all in it, but yes, she is in it, and I think lots of times we suffer from over analyzing, but she had something. And she sat on it for a year before she made a move. And fortunately, the market was still open for her. And what I like about her story is just, one, is patience, resilience, and taking advantage of the market gap. And I can't give it away, but I hope you love this. I'm sure you will. It's a great story. And yeah. I do want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Xero, beautiful accounting software. So look, if you're already in business, maybe your money's not right? You're about to start a business. Your money needs to get right. And Xero, the accounting software, can help you with all of that. If you want to start off with, hey, discount code 30% off, you can go to michellegomez.com/Xero, XERO. Can enter the promo code 030 now and you get 30% off. I've been using it for over a year. Absolutely love it. Well, I don't do much. Send it to the bookkeeper. But hey, it's been great, and have the system going on, and I definitely stand by it. So make sure you check that out. That's Xero, XERO, michellegomez.com/XERO to start with your 30% discount. So without further ado, Mila Arzu. Hey, good people. We are back on the Networking with Michelle show. Today's special guest is Mila Arzu. She is the founder of Hostkeyper, a professional cleaning and management service specializing in Airbnb. Mila, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Well, we are in Start, a co-working space in Houston. How long have you been here?
I've been coming for like the past 2 years, but I've been working out of here for probably the last 2 months.
Okay. So I definitely want to do a special shout out for Start Houston. If you're looking for a co-working space in the Houston area, look them up. I will have that in the show notes. So Hostkeyper.
Yes.
Airbnb cleaning service. Where did it begin? Tell us about yourself and how you got started.
So that's a good question. Well, I think we have to go back just a little bit about how I got started. Before I started this, I was living in South Korea. But before I lived in South Korea, I had a bridal store here in Houston. So after the bridal store didn't work out, I did that for 2 years. It didn't work out. And then I decided I need a new start. And I moved to South Korea just to visit a friend for 2 months. And I ended up living there for 1.5 years, teaching English. And so after that, I came back home with nothing, because what happened was I tried to build a travel app, because after I was teaching for 1.5 years, I traveled for 5 months.
Okay.
just around Southeast Asia, around the area. And I love travel. I love meeting people who traveled. They did all these cool things, but there was no way for me to follow what they were doing and the things they did in the past. So I can go and do that kind of thing. So I came up with this travel app, and I spent a lot of money just throwing it away, trying to get it built.
Yeah.
You know, developers saying they can do it, and so that's where all my money went. So when I came back, I was pretty much broke. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. So I
want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So you started a bridal, what did you call it?
A bridal boutique, a bridal store, but it was a consignment bridal store.
Okay.
So it was only upscale dresses that were used once.
Okay. So was it the fact, did you always wanted to start a business, or you just love the wedding industry? What was that about?
No, I've always wanted to be in business. I started business at U of H, University of Houston. Go Cougs.
Yes.
I was at the Bauer College of Business. I knew I wanted to do business, but, you know, I felt that I did not know what I wanted to do. You know, You're young, you just want to get through school, but I knew business was my passion.
Right.
It's enough for me to be creative and put something together at the same time.
I love it. Okay. So just wedding dresses.
So yeah, I think the wedding industry was booming at the time.
I mean, it always is.
Yeah, it is. It always is. And so I thought, I would go like around the US and see all these different wedding type things. And, this is Houston. There was nothing really going on. Mm-hmm. There was one consignment store.
Okay.
But they carried everything.
Okay.
So I just wanted to be specializing in just upscale, high-end wedding dresses.
So you saw a gap in the market in the Houston area.
Correct.
And you went for it.
That's what
So what about the travel app? Did you put the same amount of research when you were going through those stages?
Well, travel app is like something way different, because the app, 2-3 years ago, was still kind of a new thing. And finding people who can actually build what I wanted to build, it was not easy. I wanted to be geotagged so that you'd be able to follow where the place was. So if this was somewhere in Laos, you can just go on Google Maps and find it there without having to ask that person, what did you do? So just all that kind of stuff.
Okay. And that's just research.
Just putting all the little pieces together and looking at Foursquare, looking at Yelp, looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook. This is going to be a social media travel app.
Yeah. I love it. Is there one out now?
No, there's not one that works right now. And I don't know. It's so hard, but travel, like everybody does it. And every time I go, so I travel a lot because I just love, if I don't do anything, I need to travel. So what people do is they ask me, what did you do in France? What did you do in Cancun? And it's like, if there was just one place where I don't have to look at everybody's blog or everybody doesn't have to look at my blog, just one place where you could say, Mila went to France, Belgium, Holland, and this is what she did there. And when I go there, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And just slide my thumb up and down.
Exactly. It cost me a lot of money for nothing. I didn't get anything out of it.
You got the experience though.
I'm still hurting about it.
I might want to talk to you about that more, because there's an app I would like to do. And that's the thing. Like, I know I don't have the money to even start the development stage, but we'll talk
here at Start, we got some people who will develop apps, and it's not that expensive.
I need the vision. And I'm one of those people, I know we're skipping ahead, but I'm like, I'm one of those people, I was like, look, I'll give you 50%, Shark Tank.
Well,
because 50% of something is better than 0%. Well, 100% of zero.
Yeah.
But we'll talk. We'll talk. Okay, so you come home, you're broke as a joke, no car.
Exactly. Broke as a joke. It wasn't even a joke. It was painful.
Okay, so did you get a part-time job?
So this is the thing. So before I started the bridal business, when I graduated from University of Houston, I went straight to auditing for waste management.
Okay.
So I was an auditor for 3 years, and I moved so because I had this travel app idea, I moved to Austin. Okay. I came home like one day or something, and then went straight to Austin because that's where all the innovation's going, the tech, everybody's in Austin building something. So I want to be around those people. And so I went to Austin. I was Airbnb-ing the whole time. Because it was hard to find a place to live in. It's like 98% occupied in Austin, inside of Austin. It's hard to find a place to live.
And it's more expensive.
It's like you get a 5-bedroom and it's $500 each room. It's like, it's crazy. So, but I wanted to be in Austin. Yeah. So that's how the idea started. I was in one Airbnb. Like all the Airbnbs were kind of like normal, the same, whatever. But this one particular, plus my host, she was amazing. We still friends. We're still friends on Facebook. She's amazing. But she had one house, 4 bedrooms, and she rented out each room. And it was, you would have your own key at the door. Yeah, and your bed was made like a hotel bed. You had a little TV. You had a little mint on the bed. She did everything. It was amazing. She had a sheet, like the house manual of, this is the Wi-Fi. These are the grocery stores nearby. These are the coffee places that you might want to walk to. Yeah. Like everything was put together. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Oh, then I was like dreaming. I'm like, well, when I go back home or whenever I land somewhere, I want to get a house and be able to do this. One, you meet all kinds of cool, different people and you make passive income. Right. And then, so I thought it was cool. So she inspired me to this day. I don't think she knows that, but she inspired me to do this because I was thinking, who does all of this work for her? Right. She's got 4 bedrooms. She's always traveling. She's always doing something. Who's doing this for her? So I was just looking up on Google, my brain just goes off. And I was just like, cleaning for Airbnb or management for Airbnb in Austin and Houston. And I didn't see anything. So I sat on the idea for a year. I bought the domain. I did. And I was first bnbcleaners.com, but then.
That's a good one though.
It's a good one. I still have it. Good. But the thing about it is when I started getting mentorship from my mentor, he was like, you're not just a cleaning service. Okay. You actually manage the homes. The people who let me manage their homes. Yeah. They're not even in Houston. So I have to make sure the air filters are clean, the AC is still working, the plumbing. So it's not just cleaning. So he's like, you need to not pigeonhole yourself into just saying you're a cleaner. So I still have it and it does really good on SEO on Google, but now I'm Hostkeyper. Yeah. Which makes more sense.
Okay. So you sat on it for a year. Yeah. What was that about?
I was busy trying to throw money bleeding out of my pocket with this app. That's what was happening. Okay. I thought this app was going to be the most amazing thing ever.
There's still potential.
There's still potential, but that app was bleeding a hole through my pocket. I promise I had nothing. I got it. I had to move back home. After I ran out of Airbnb stay money, I couldn't. I bought and so while I was in Austin, I was working. I met this girl doing networking. I did a lot of networking over there, and she was a recruiter. And I would take anything. I didn't care. Right. So it was an oil and gas company, but you were just putting in data in the computer. And I would work from 5 at night until midnight.
Wow. At home? From home?
No, you have to go to the office and then have to take the bus back.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't have a car. I came back. I sold my car before I went to South Korea to have a place.
I love this, but this is the real life entrepreneurship hustle that gets glossed over.
It's also sometimes stupidity. I just really believed in myself and whatever I had to do to get to where I needed to be. That's what I had to do.
All right. So you sat on Hostkeyper for a year. Yes. When did you get up and running?
So actually Hostkeyper is 1.5 years old.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So I came back home. I borrowed my brother's truck to go find an apartment. Okay. I found an apartment. I could barely get that apartment in the hood because you have to have a job to get an apartment.
Proof of income.
You have to have proof of income. Oh my word. I had a 401k. I had to take it out.
Oh, so you haven't even touched your 401k at that point?
Nope. I needed a roof over my head. You start with the roof over your head and food in your belly. So I took out the 401k and they're like, oh, what's your proof of income? And I'm just like, I lied. I said I had a job and then I don't know if I should tell anyone. Like I said
it's just me.
I said that I did have a job and that I just started the job. This is why I don't have any check stubs.
Right.
So if I could just pay 6 months in advance.
Right.
It was a real cheap place. So
right.
Like, let me pay 6 months in advance so they don't ask less questions.
Right.
So then I really had 6 months to figure out what I'm going to do.
Hey, gotta give yourself that runway.
You have to do something. So, I felt comfortable. Like, because before this, I was at my friend's couch in the Woodlands, sleeping on a couch for 2 months.
Yeah.
When I came back to Houston from Austin. So I'm sleeping on his couch. He let me borrow his truck every now and then. And he's like an uncle figure to me. And he's like, you need to pick yourself up off the ground. You sitting at home all day moping, I mean, times are rough. Like, and I just needed to go through that shock of coming back home and not having anything. Because that's not how I established myself before. So after that, I was like, I need to be closer inside of Houston where I at least could take the bus.
Right.
I can't be in the Woodlands, not being able to network and do anything and be stuck. So that's how I ended up back inside of Houston. I needed a job. Okay, so now I got a roof over my head. Now I need to make some money. What's going to happen? And I'm a big entrepreneurship. It's like running through my blood. There's no way I don't think I can do anything else. Like I tried to go back to auditing just for survival. Just for the time being. And, the recruiters would be like, you've been away for this for X amount of years. They're paying us to find good people. And
do you know the rules?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even want to do this anyway. I don't want to do this anyway. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this Hostkeyper thing and I'm going to figure it out.
You can take you and your job.
Yes.
Stuff it. Okay.
Stop it. I don't want you knowing. Shoot. Oh, anyway.
All right. So first thing, like, where do you begin? I mean, do you sit down and get all of this paperwork together? Do you like, hey, I see you're on Airbnb. Do you need someone to clean it before or after? Like, where did you start?
Listen, I was in survival mode. Seriously. So what I did, literally, I sat, thank God I had a computer and Wi-Fi. I sat down and built a website in a weekend. Okay. Saturday and Sunday, sitting down with my little snacks and building a website.
Okay.
Because I was like, this has to work. There's nobody doing this in Houston. Let's just see. It really was an experiment because I didn't think it was going to work out. Like, out of all things, just go get a regular job, see how that works out.
Let me back up a little bit because we're in 2017. You said it's a year and a half, so this was 2014.
The end of 2014.
Airbnb was still an untapped market, at least here in Houston.
And Houston is still touchy, It's still, because Houston is it's the South, and it's still growing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I sat down, built a website in a weekend. Then I posted it on Craigslist. I had been building websites anyway, just for fun, like niche websites, putting ads on it, trying to make a little extra money, doing that. I listened to a lot of podcasts doing that, and learning how to do that. But then I built a website in the weekend. I posted it on Craigslist. I got my first 2 clients in 2 weeks.
But
one called me.
You posted an ad on Craigslist.
On Craigslist, I didn't even think people even use Craigslist anymore.
Okay, all right. So you got your first 2 clients
on Craigslist. They're still with me till this day.
Okay,
till this day, they still sing my praises and refer me and stuff like that. So the first one, he was out in Humble. All of my houses are inside the loop, but he was my first. But this guy is real innovative. He is a mentor to entrepreneurs all over the world. He has several books. So I kept him, because he's kind of far over there by the airport, but he has his Airbnb is probably one of the best Airbnbs I've ever seen as well. Like, he's got it set up. He does a welcome basket, make sure like he's a very healthy person. So there's fruits and nuts and water and chocolates for the guests every time somebody comes in. He has like all the pamphlets all set up. The house looks immaculate. So I went to his house and we kind of did a consultation and he's like, I've been looking for you. And I was like, really? Okay. So that gave me some confidence. Like my first person saying, they're looking for somebody like me. And then the next guy, he has a house in a townhome in Midtown. And he was like, I'm moving to Austin and I don't want to sell my stuff. Yeah. And I don't want to sell my house. I don't want to do the renting, like, you know, a year lease. I want to check out this Airbnb thing. Yeah. Handed me over the keys right away. So did the first one. I was just like, what is it about me that I am trustworthy, but it's just like, what is it about me? Like, what is it about this that people believe in what I'm doing? So yeah, he gave me the keys to his place. He got it all set up and we're still operating.
So did you scramble and be like, okay, let me get this paperwork together?
I still don't have paperwork.
But this is my PayPal account, and you can send the money. You can send the money here.
Exactly. That's exactly. Like, I mean, I didn't even know what to do or how to do it. Like, I just knew that they needed this service, and let me just focus on that. They need this done. I'll make sure that I'll get that done, and then we'll worry about all the little, things later. So yeah, then I started invoicing them through PayPal and finally got a scheduler so they can go online and schedule their cleans whenever somebody checks out, the day that they check out. So, and I also have to make sure that nobody did any damage to the house. Right. Since they're really not in town. So I go make sure everything looks good, make sure everything's working properly, and we clean it. We set it up like a hotel. We try to do the little special touches, fold the towels in certain ways and fold the toilet paper, just all the little special touches that everybody should feel when they walk into an Airbnb, because the people who don't do Airbnb, they're reluctant because of cleanliness. They're afraid to walk into a dirty house. So with us, we make sure we guarantee that it's clean.
So how many houses do you manage now?
Right now, I'm managing 30.
30 houses.
30 houses.
So you have got one more since the last time I spoke to you.
There's some things in the works. Okay. For a unit downtown with 30 units.
Okay, so you manage 30 homes, residential homes. You have a staff?
I do.
How many people?
So everybody's contracted because everybody's got all kinds of other jobs and mothers and things like that. So I've got about 5 people on board.
So when did you know you needed to make that first hire? And how many homes did you have at that time?
At that time, I had about, and it wasn't a lot now that I think about it, but it was a lot to me at the time. So I started cleaning myself. But then once we get to like 15, 16 cleans a month, I get exhausted. Right. Like 3 cleans a day. A 2-bedroom house will take 4 hours to clean properly from top to bottom. So you're working 12 hours a day just cleaning. Yeah. That's exhausting. It's exhausting on your body.
Wait, when did you get your car?
Oh, yeah. That's also where my 401k came to play. Okay. So I got my apartment, and then there was a car dealership 10 minutes walking down the road. Yeah. I know I did not get a good deal on that car, but I did not care. I needed a car.
You had to do what you had.
I had to do it. So I was like, listen, I'll pay you cash. Give me a car that's, I don't know, 2007 or better. Yeah. For like 6,000 or lower, something like that. Yeah. And so they sold me a car, and so they came when I was living in that apartment over there in Southwest Side. So I just walked over to the
so you're managing 15 homes. You brought in your first hire.
Yeah. Okay. So I bring in my first hire. She's still amazing. I still have her. She's amazing. She has initiative, but let me go back. I bring on her because now I'm becoming profitable. Mm-hmm. So now, because I was broke. I didn't have anything, no money. So I got to a point where I can pay my bills and feed myself and put gas in my car. So as long as I could do that and then hire somebody else, that's when I knew I was going to hire somebody, because otherwise I was just going to do the things myself.
Right.
So finally I got to that point where I can hire somebody else. I hired her. She's still with me. She's amazing.
At that point, did you feel like, wait, this is my first hire, I need to pass this knowledge down? Do you go back and put this manual, this training guide together?
I am the most unprepared person in the world. I just do.
Follow me.
Exactly. I just do things. I don't even question them. You know, after you start a business for the first time, because the first business, you question everything.
True.
You just sit around questioning things.
That's true.
But after the first time, it's like you just jump in the water.
Yeah.
So with her, I just got really lucky because I found her on care.com.
Okay.
Stuff, but I found her on that website, and those is specifically for people who want to do nanny, housekeeping, or whatnot. So I found her, and she's from France actually, and she was like, "My mom and dad did do this in France with their house. Like they have an extra house and they rent it out. It's by the beach, and I used to help with them, and I used to love doing this."
Perfect.
She is perfect. She gets the concept,
right?
Because I've hired cleaners who said, "I've been cleaning for 15 years. They don't get the concept of Airbnb.
Right.
There's still trash in the trash bin. There's still hair in the bathroom. Because if you lived in the house, you're not going to be mad that there's still
my hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you're doing an Airbnb, it's super specific, and people forget. I think it's just like, I've had this over and over, people who clean forever. I'm like, "Oh, I've been doing this. I got this." And no, they don't got it. So with her, she got the whole concept of it, of how it needs to be clean, prepared, to the point that I was able to go on a mini vacation to Cancun, and she took care of everything. And when I was in Cancun, she was texting me, because, you know, the iMessage is awesome.
Yeah.
She was texting me like YouTube videos of like folding towels into swans and into elephants and like all these little fan things. And I was like, okay, well, she's got it. She still does that like to every house. I like puts her little touch to it. I just like roll up the towels, make them look like nice. You know, so when you find somebody who's kind of better than you at this,
definitely.
It's like a miracle. It's just trying to replicate that with other people who are kind of conditioned to do the same thing. And it's different with different cleaners. The ones who are like new, they've never cleaned, but she's never cleaned before. She's like, other than, you know, doing nanny stuff at the house, I've never cleaned before, but she gets it. So it worked out really well.
Do you love doing sales?
No, not really.
So how do you generate business?
So because it's not that I don't love doing sales. I don't think I'm good at it. For me, I'm one of those people. This is why my bridal business did not succeed. People come to my face and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a wedding dress." And I was like, "Well, if you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't." I'm not going to convince you it's your wedding day, you know? And I was horrible at it. It was horrible. Like, I didn't, like, that's not the attitude you should have. But but that's not really me. I don't want you to buy something that you don't want to buy. I don't want to convince you to do something you don't want to do. And that's not what sales is, but like at that time, that's what I thought. And so I just worked really hard on my SEO, like search engine optimization on my website, so that if you do Google Airbnb cleaning, Airbnb management, short-term rental cleaning, I pop up, and I pop up on the first page. This is back when I was learning these things on podcasts as well, like learning how to build websites and coming first on Google.
With Houston being so large, I mean, I know you have your first client, and I think that's special, but have you capped it with the radius on how far you will go out, you and your staff?
I have. After the 2 houses we have in Humble, we only stay inside of the loop.
Okay.
Yeah, we just stay inside. For right now, until I could be able to grow bigger. But right now, when people come visit Houston, they mostly stay inside the loop. Now, what is this, the energy corridor?
Yeah.
But for the most part, inside of the loop.
Now, I don't want to get too much into your financial business, but is it a retainer? Do they buy packages? Like, if I want to hire you, what does that look like? Is it a one-time fee? Is it a contract?
No, I don't do a contract. Like I said with sales, if you don't like me, then, you know.
Well, when I mean contract, like, is it a 3-month minimum, or is it like, so how do you operate in that part?
No, I don't do any of that. I just try to do good work, and you keep calling me if you like it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you don't like it, I don't want you to stick around with me. I really don't want anybody to be with me that doesn't want to be with me. So how I started doing that is when you want to hire me or figure out, kind of get a feel of what we do, I go and I give a free consultation. We sit down and we talk, we go to the house, we do a little tour. And then after that, so most of everybody manages their own profile on Airbnb. So we'll do an initial clean, and so we do it by 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms. So I have a set price for 1 bedroom, and that's how it works. So what we'll do is, if they need an initial clean, we'll do one. A lot of times people do it themselves, do the first clean and then have their first guest. And then after that, we'll come in like autonomously. They'll go in on my scheduler online and say, okay, it has the calendar and everything. Right. So basically you can say Thursday, April 27th, somebody's checking out at noon and somebody else is coming in at 4. Oh, this wow. Is the same day. So they'll highlight that. And so I have to schedule this with my crew and say, okay, who's available to clean on a Thursday between noon and 4.
So I know with entrepreneurship, especially when you transition from corporate to entrepreneurship, it's really easy to sit on the couch for 12 hours and try to bang stuff out, websites, paperwork, research, et cetera, et cetera. When are you off? Because I'm thinking...
There's no such thing as that.
Right. If people are just going to randomly... Because I know how I am. It'll be, 12:37 a.m. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, let me do that
exactly. Right, it's crazy. And then I have clients who are international, too. So things go down. It's like, oh, no. It's like 3 o'clock in London, 3 a.m. in London. And I have to really get a hold of this person. It doesn't stop, but I did put parameters. Basically online it says from 8 to 8. Okay. But we're not really 8 to 8. I mean, if the house is available to clean at 10 p.m., we go in at 10 p.m. Nobody lives in the house. So we work all the time. I work all the time, but I like to work. I like this business. So I do take some time off for myself, just sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day and eat what I want. But it gives me energy. It gives me, it lightens me up to like work. I love to work. Even on vacation, I'm working. So it's I don't know. It's what I do.
Okay, so you have 30 houses. That's a lot. I mean, what else is in store for Hostkeyper for you and the company?
That's, you know what? I had this question for myself. That's a great question. I was like thinking about it like probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about, I still haven't built a business plan. I need to do that. And think about what direction do I want to go? I've met people and they say, you know what? I want to start doing Airbnb and just be a property manager or like investor for Airbnb. I want some consulting. Will you do some consulting work? Yeah. I don't know what a consultant does. So now that's a whole nother business model. Wow. And I was approached by an investor who's going to make a 32 unit. Instead of making it a hotel, just going to make it all Airbnb in downtown Houston, and approached me. So I was just like, my website presence, I mean, at least it's working for me. Yeah. I don't really have to, I sell myself with the way that I present myself. But for people to find me and say, I want you to take on this project. Right. I would have never been able to predict that. So I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't, because in business, a lot of people do forecasting. Yeah. But in my life, I don't forecast anything. Right. I just live and I just, want to be happy. Like every time I travel somewhere, I never planned it. It was planned 2 weeks ahead of time. Yeah. Like I booked the ticket today and 2 weeks from now, I'm going to Europe. So this is kind of how I'm doing my business, but I'm pretty sure this is not how you should do business. But
Don't listen to me, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to me. But at least I feel like as long as we get the work done, we get it done when it needs to be done, we get it done right. But I do need to do at least some kind of forecasting. But like I said, even in life, I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Right. And I don't want to try to predict. I'm not going to say, in 5 years, I want to be here with this amount of money and this amount of kids. And I don't do that. Life is going to play out the way it's going to play out. So I just let it do that. So trying to incorporate my personal lifestyle with how I run my business, it's going to be a little bit of a battle, but I know that I have to do something.
I would like to think, obviously you said you focused on SEO for your marketing component. What about referrals, relationships and referrals? How has that helped with your business?
It kind of helps, but not so much because not everybody wants to do Airbnb. Some people will call me and say, oh, this person referred me to you because you do great cleaning. But I don't do residential cleaning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I want to focus on what we do best. Yeah. Residential cleaning, you have to figure out, do they have pets? How long it's going to take? We only have from 9 to 5 while they're at work to clean it up.
Right.
And all these different things that you have to do with Airbnb clean. At least I know what to expect when I walk inside the house.
And they're specifically gone. You're dealing with hosts that do not live in their house.
Exactly. And most of them, some of them allow pets, not all of them allow pets. Gotcha. So I know that these specific houses, I might come into them and they might have pet hair on the sofa and everywhere. So we know to charge them a little bit more because that's going to take an hour just to get it out the sofa.
When it came to figuring out your ideal client, I guess before the Craigslist post, but between building the website and the Craigslist post, did you know what your ideal client was? Or over the past year and a half, you've been able to chip at that and get it specified to the best way possible?
Yeah, it took some time because like I said, I don't focus on anything but just getting it done. So I was wondering who would be. I would think it was just investors who had an extra house or people who had an extra home that they were renting and just wanted to, because you make more money on Airbnb than if you rented it to a year, making a year lease because you're renting by the day, but it's still cheaper than a hotel. So I forgot what we were saying.
When it comes to your figuring out your ideal client.
Oh yeah. So I feel like a lot of them are people who travel a lot. This is Houston, so it's a mix of people. I have real estate investors. I have oil and gas people who, they have their oil and gas money, they have their house, and then they want to do something else. So I have those people. I have people who travel a lot, who don't really want to deal with the cleaning and all that stuff, just to make sure somebody's there to clean for the next guest. Yeah. So it's all different kind of people. Yeah. That's what I love about Houston.
You're so happy. Well, I definitely want to acknowledge you. I love the hustle.
Thank you.
I love the story. I love the hustle. Just a true testament of, I want to say, a little bit of market research and just finding that gap, finding that niche, and getting that, I guess it's a couple of things, right? That untapped market. And, God, I can't even think of it. There's something like the phrase, but basically, first user advantage, getting first user advantage, with the concept of Airbnb and then adding the cleaning component. I think that's really, really dope. I think that's cool.
I appreciate that.
So as we wrap up, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, you can get in touch with me, Howard. Just kidding. So you can get in touch with me on, I have LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, my website. My phone number is on my website, hostkeyper.com, HOSTKEYPER, like a key. Yeah. That if you email, you can email me at hello@hostkeyper.com. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help entrepreneurs. Once you get over the first hump, you'll be all right. It's just people. I have friends, I have everybody who's like, I want to start something. I want to do something. Well, then do it. Right. Like, don't come to me. Right. With, I want to start something. I don't want to even hear it. Just do it. I'm like, nobody has time to hear about your insecurities and all that stuff. That's not going to get you any money. That's not going to get you success. That's not going to get you anywhere. Just do it. See how far it goes. Just hopefully it's a good concept and just believe in it and keep going. That's all it is.
That simple?
It really is that simple. Sometimes things take a little bit longer. Like with this, as long as I'm able to keep my roof over my head, I'm very, like, when it comes to living, it's very basic. My car just needs to go from point A to point B. And I just need to have a roof over my head. It needs to be clean. Obviously, I'm hosting.
I need to get to my houses. I need to eat.
Yes.
And I got
as long as you have your basic needs, what's it called? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have your basic needs, you'll be all right. You just have to do it.
How do you define success?
Oh, success is different for everybody. Right? I believe success is different. Success for me is probably not success for everybody. Success for me is being able to wake up every day and feel thankful for what I have. That could be minimal, but that's all I need to survive, really. For me, my goal with my lifestyle, because you're in the podcast world. I love Tim Ferriss and all that.
Okay.
So I want to be in a point where I could be in Bali and still
meditate.
Yeah, well, I have done that. Yes. Where I can be in Bali in my beach house and still have some income coming in.
Absolutely.
And that would be success. Right now, my small success is if I can have 2 or 3 months out of the year in a different country. I want to learn a new language, but I don't want to come back broke again. I learned my lesson the first time.
That's true success. When you can travel and your bills are kept up,
that's
and
right.
You can come back with a home
and
I
Airbnb my house. I practice what I preach. So when I'm at home, I have another room. When I'm gone, I rent out both rooms.
Oh Lord.
Yes, I practice. So yeah, for me, that would be success to me. If I can still, live and travel. That's happiness. Everything else can fall into its place the way it's supposed to. But for me, that is my success.
All right, people. This is the best. How do you define success? And can you keep it simple?
Simple.
Can you keep your... once again, success is relative. And hopefully I about to come up with this book and free ebook called Success Undefined. So yeah,
cool.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because success is different for everybody. Success for people is like being a stay-at-home mom and having 5 kids. That's their success. But like my success is different.
It's not that.
It's not that. I mean, I don't even care about driving a nice car. One day I would like to ride in a nice car with a handsome man. That was TMI. Too much information.
You're going to make me work on this editing.
I know.
All right. As always, remember, I believe in you. Personal connection leads to an influential network. So thanks for networking with Michelle.